It's 9 a.m. and time to talk high school sports. It's time for the OK Preps Roundup. The most comprehensive high school sports show heard all year round.
Let's see what you got.
OK Preps Roundup is on the air. Now, here are your hosts, Ben Johnson and Michael Knight.
Welcome into another edition of the OK Preps Roundup here on your home for sports, the sports animal, as well as streaming online on okpreps.tv/roundup. I am your host, Michael Knight. Glad to be back in lovely Tulsa, Oklahoma. Unfortunately, I brought allergies back with me from Dallas, Texas, so I apologize for my voice and nasally sound, and also a future apology for the coughing that I am just destined to do over the next 2 hours. It's been a miserable last couple of days, but I'm back in the studio, happy to be talking high school sports, and good to see you, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, welcome back to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And sorry you had to pick up a bunch of pollen and all that nonsense on the way back.
It's just all up in my nose. It's all up there. So once again, I apologize for the nasally sound and the eventual coughing of my lung that will be just happening throughout the next 2 hours. Once I get to going, start to feel a little bit better, but every now and then, just got to cough it up.
Well, at least everyone's been warned, I guess.
Yeah,
As long as you cough to your right, not over there on Josh, I think you'll be all right.
I think he might take offense to that.
Maybe.
We can test it, but instead I'll lean to the right as you suggested.
There you go.
Unfortunately, I came back not only with allergies,
With the rain.
but I also brought a lot of rain this week to lovely Oklahoma, which I know it's not all about sports all the time, and I know that our state needs the rain, can do without the tornadoes, can do without the crazy thunderstorms and flash flooding. I know that our state needs rain, but at the same time, are we out of the drought yet? Because I feel like we've got enough rain over the last couple of days to be done.
Well, I mean, we're all under a drought, I guess, but I think more than anything, the southwest part of the state needs it, and I think they've gotten plenty, so
All right.
let's move
call it.
on.
Let's call it. Drought's over. We're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
No more rain for at least the next couple of weeks, please.
I'm good for about a week. I mean,
Well, spring football.
okay.
I'd like to be covering some spring
Okay.
football in a couple weeks with no rain. That's just me, though.
okay.
Maybe I'm selfish. I don't know.
Maybe.
Let's dive right on into the top
Okay,
stories
let's do it.
because weather does affect those top stories, and it's number one right off the bat. Weather postponing playoffs all across the state, all across the sports. We talked about the playoffs that were starting this week, whether it's 6A through 2A regionals, Class A and B baseball state tournament. You had girls golf, boys golf will get started next week. Some of the state track meets were this week. I mean, just playoffs all over the state. And we had a lot of postponements.
We had about, maybe 30% of it be played?
Yeah, I mean,
Total?
finding scores and updates and things like that for this week's show, not the easiest to do because you just don't know if they've played. You go to the OSSA Rankings website, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, there's no score there. I wonder if the coach just hasn't put it in, or maybe that game didn't get played.
Right.
Because right now it's a coin flip. You don't know.
Yeah. Safe bet is if anything west of I-35 was scheduled to happen, it probably got canceled. I know we've had a little bit more luck on this side of the state, but not a whole lot more.
Yeah, in which it brings up an interesting situation because we're going to talk a lot of baseball here in this first hour. Have a couple guests lined up in our next segment, but we'll talk about the baseball results that we did get this segment. It brings up an interesting situation, especially for the West Side teams in baseball, because there were several East Side squads that got their regionals in, have already qualified for state, and are just kicking back.
Yep.
They're just relaxing now. Resting their pitchers' arms.
Larry Turner and his crew are feeling pretty good right about now.
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't they be? And for the teams that didn't get their regionals in, I know that Jinx is playing today.
Maybe. It's not looking very good outside.
Yeah. It's just overcast as long as there's no rain.
But there's some coming.
I'm hopeful.
I know.
I'm hopeful, man. After the last couple of days, that's all I got is just hope. Stillwater, I know that they're playing today.
Right now.
They're playing right now?
They start at 9 a.m.
They're playing Ponca, right?
Yes.
And winner moves on to state?
Yes, if
Or
Ponca
if
City,
Ponca
Ponca
wins,
City
they play
wins.
again later.
No, if Ponca City wins. If Ponca City wins, they're on the state. Stillwater wins. Stillwater needs to win to stay alive.
Yeah, which, by the way, who would have thought that Broken Arrow would go down? That was
And go down in flames. I mean,
They lost by 2 to Ponca, I think, in the first
10-8.
10-8, and then they got blasted by Stillwater 10-1. 10-1 or 11-1. Either
I
way,
saw it was 9-0, and I knew it was not going to be not going to end well.
It was a lot as the Tigers, one of the host teams of the regionals, but you knew the way. I mean, we saw this coming all season long with the way these districts are set up with Owasso, Jinx, and Stillwater all in the same district. You knew that one of those teams was going to have to go on the road. And the team that had to host them from the other districts, it wasn't going to be an easy stretch. Broken Arrow hosted Stillwater. Granted, you didn't think that Ponca City would be a team that would jump up and surprise somebody. But at the same time, we kind of got a feeling that, oh, man, the 2 seed out of District 3 in Class 6A, they're not – I mean, they're going to have home field advantage, but they're going to need it because they're going to be facing a really tough team. Whether it's Owasso, whether it's Jinx, or whether it's Stillwater.
Sure.
And you get Stillwater, the defending state champs, and who would have thought about Ponca City, though? That's definitely surprising.
Yeah, 6A4 is looking a lot better. I mean, we already knew it was good, but it's proving itself to be a lot better than what we even thought it was because, Bishop Kelly gets that number 1 and 3.
Yep.
Well, they roll right on into the state tournament. Then there's Broken Arrow hosting, and then they go down in a big way.
Yep. Union pushed Owasso yesterday for a moment before the Rams turned it on and eliminated the Redskins. So
and Muskogee's giving Jinx a scare over there on that.
Yeah,
in that regional.
Yeah. So the district did look strong, putting up a little bit of a fight. Don't know how many of those teams are going to make it to the state tournament, but we'll recap some of the state qualifiers. Only 3 teams have qualified for state so far in Class 6A. 2 of them over here on the east side. Actually, it's kind of surprising. I was writing this down yesterday. 6 teams from Class 5A have qualified for state already, which you look at the other classes combined. I mean, 4A, 3A, and 2A, I don't think they have 6 between the 3 classes. So
well, I think, we talked about this a little bit before the show, but I think a lot of the 5A schools had the foresight to move their regionals up and get it played immediately.
Right.
I think Carl Albert was one of them. There were several regionals that decided, hey, let's go ahead and get this over with because the end of the week does not look very good.
Yeah. And I tell you what, watching forecasts pays off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I looked at it on Tuesday. Either it was Monday or Tuesday, and I saw what was coming.
Right.
As far as every single day, starting Wednesday, it was like an 80 to 90% chance of rain. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, well, I was definitely paying attention because I had some golf to go out and cover, and I didn't know if Indian Springs and Scissortail up in Claremore were going to get washed out, and they had a delay both days in Broken Arrow, but then Claremore was good. So, yeah, I was definitely paying attention. It did not look good.
We had a commitment happen earlier this week. If you follow us on Twitter at OK Gridiron, you heard the news that Del City quarterback Terry Wilson went ahead and ended his recruitment and committed to the University of Nebraska. Mike Riley already doing damage in the state of Oklahoma. He was able to sign Jalen Barnett, one of the top recruits in Oklahoma in last year's class, Under Armour All-American. There it is, first one off the books.
To your left, by the way.
To the left, but didn't get stuck.
Okay.
He's all right.
All right.
He's all right. Barnett's signing was the first Oklahoma kid signing with Nebraska in a decade. Fast forward a couple months, and he already has a commitment from another Oklahoma kid, Terry Wilson, the number 2 quarterback on the OK Gridiron big board of QBs, just behind Micah Wilson, who last week committed to Boise State. We're going to have Terry on to start hour number 2 around 10:05 to talk to him. But this is a kid who, if he puts it all together, is going to be really good. Off the bat, just judging by the eye test, you think he's a dual threat guy. He'll only run it if he has to. He's a great passer. But here's the biggest question mark with him, and he knows this. He's seen guys like me write this about. He's seen other reporters write it about him. Consistency.
Right.
It's the biggest question mark around him, and that's why I say if he puts it all together, this kid has a chance to be special because he'll go from having one game where he throws for 500 yards, very next game he turns around and throws for 5 interceptions. So eliminate that, eliminate the mistakes, become a player week to week you can trust, and the sky's the limit for this kid. Nebraska got a steal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure Mike Riley and his crew will be paying close attention to how Terry's doing week in and week out, and say he's getting close to putting it together. Well, that's what the redshirt season could be for, to get some experience in some college practices, start to figure things out, and you go from there.
He was the 6th kid in the 2016 class to commit to a Division I school. Second quarterback, like we mentioned, Michael Wilson from Lincoln Christian, committed to Boise State. But Nebraska, I don't think that this is something that's going to go away. I think people are going to have to get used to Nebraska coming to Oklahoma and recruiting Oklahoma kids hard, especially with Mike Riley now taking over.
Yeah, he had at least a handful of Oklahoma guys at Oregon State.
Yep.
And Zach Robinson from Tahquah Sequoia, a couple Booker T guys, Michael Doctor.
He'd go down to Lawton and grab some kids.
Zimmerman. So I would say that trend is only starting to begin with him stealing some Oklahoma kids. So instead of Oregon State, who may still get involved in the Oklahoma game, we'll see. But expect Nebraska to start snagging guys left and right if the Oklahoma schools aren't going to show any interest.
And that's the thing. I think TU might be kicking themselves right now.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks, seeing Michael Wilson and Terry Wilson go off the board committing to various schools. I know that they were going to take their time evaluating which quarterback. I know Philip Montgomery, he wanted to pick the right guy. Quarterback is so important in the offense that they run. They wanted to make sure that they recruited and offered the right guy. But I think they might be kicking themselves right now as the top 2 quarterbacks in the state come off the board. Now you're going to have to go out of state unless you want to, take a chance on a Mustangs Chandler Garrett, which pretty good chance. This kid is good, but at the same time, he's not a Michael Wilson where you know what you're going to get with him. He's not a Terry Wilson where this kid could throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, but at the same time, he might turn around and throw for 5 interceptions. But you take a chance on a kid thinking that you're going to be able to turn him into that 500-yard, 5-touchdown. That's what you can expect out of him, not the 5-interception game. I think TU, I know that they have good roots in Texas, but I'd be kicking myself right now.
Well, I think with that offensive attack, they need a quarterback that's going to complete, we're talking 60, 70% of the passes, mainly because they're short passes and then go from there.
Yeah.
Maybe we talk about the consistency with Terry Wilson. Maybe that's what they got caught up on, and they didn't want to really roll the dice with him being so inconsistent at this point.
Right.
But maybe and more so than anything, I think Michael Wilson will be the one that they wish they had had.
Yeah, which only time will tell.
Sure.
It's very hard to predict
these
things
They
right
still
now.
have another senior season of football left to go.
Exactly. So, Terry Wilson committing. We'll have him on the show around 10:05. We'll also talk a little bit about those big board rankings that I mentioned. All 8 positions are now ranked with top 10s: quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, defensive backs, and the good old athlete category.
Okay.
What's he going to be?
Throw your kickers in the athlete category, right?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
No kick. I don't think that you can put kicker and athlete in the same sentence.
Oh, you just made a lot of kickers and
made a
punters
lot of
really
kickers mad.
really upset.
I did, but still.
Stokes is even leaning back from his computer.
Yeah,
he knows
might
the
be leaving. He
the
knows
backlash is coming.
The backlash is about to hit, but look, I go based on
not a special teams guy. So you're the guy in the NFL. You don't want kickoffs.
Go for it.
You don't want extra points. You don't want any of that.
I'm like that coach over in Arkansas. Go for it.
Okay.
Never punt.
Okay.
Don't kick extra points.
All right.
Just go for it.
All right.
See what happens.
Okay.
He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk baseball. There were some teams that made it to the state tournament. Class A and B state tournament is off for now. They're going to start it on Monday, hopefully.
Which looks right now is the only decent day next week.
So let's just play all 3 games on Monday.
Oh, God.
Triple header. Triple header for the state tournament. We're also going to talk about some of these state tournament games, some of these playoff games in the various sports being just called at halftime, halfway through a golf tournament, and what that says about the sport itself. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Coming up, he's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. This is the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports, the sports animal, as well as streaming on okpreps.tv/roundup.
The Big 12 is sending its best baseball teams to Tulsa to determine the conference best.
Hot shot to the right side, and it gets over the glove of Pena into right field.
And we'll be there all 5 days giving you hourly updates from every game. It all begins May 20th, courtesy of Roofscapes Exteriors. Find them online at roofscapesexteriors.com. We're your home for sports and hourly updates from the Big 12 baseball tournament.
That ball's going to drop in front of Matthews for a base hit. Rounding third is Anderson. Here comes the throw. It's up the line. He is safe.
The Sports Animal.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
Earlier this week, the Sapulpa Chieftain Athletic Program joined what is the fastest growing high school sports network in Oklahoma, and you can join as well. Stream your games live across the state. Join the network that has streamed over 1,000 varsity events in Oklahoma since August. Join the OK Preps network today, just like the Chieftains did earlier this week. For more information, email broadcast@okpreps.tv, or you can give a call to 918-615-9615. Happy to have the Sapulpa Chieftains joining the OK Preps network. You'll be able to catch their football games, select basketball games, and other athletic events live on the OK Preps network coming up next season. Obviously, Sapulpa Chieftain football has been a mainstay here on the Sports Animals, so glad to continue to bridge that gap.
Shout out to
Sports
Jeff Haxton.
That's right. Hopefully he's back for some 2015 Sapulpa Chieftain football.
There we go.
Be able to hear Hacks on the OK Preps network this fall.
My wife, a Sapulpa graduate, she just goes, "Hey, some Sapulpa info, what?"
That's right. That's right. Shout out to Sapulpa. Not every day that they make headlines, but they made headlines this week.
Well, unless we're talking girls basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty good there.
Pretty good. That's for sure. That is for sure. We're talking baseball this segment. As by the way, here's an update from Stillwater, or excuse me, I guess are they playing in Broken Arrow?
They are. Shannon Dobson waking up early to tend to the field. You know that has to just be miserable.
I would feel bad for the two teams. Like, you're out west. Just meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, my buddy at the Stillwater paper, Jason Elmquist, he stayed in a hotel overnight. No point in driving back to Stillwater.
Playing Enid. I don't know.
Yeah. Give that field a test run for the state tournament.
Exactly. But anyway, there are 3 innings complete in Broken Arrow, and Stillwater leads Ponca City 2-1. So we'll keep you updated.
2-2 now.
It's 2-2?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my update was 17 minutes ago, so that
yeah,
explains that.
3 minutes ago, 2-2. Ponca gets a run on an error. This is kind of nice having some updates to give at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
It
as
is
well.
rare.
Yeah, we'll continue to update that game as we move on through the next hour and a half or so. Some baseball results earlier this week that we had, at least, teams that made it to the state tournament. Let's start Class 6A. Edmond Memorial, West Side team getting it in and getting it done as the Bulldogs win their region. They advance to the state tournament. Bishop Kelly has also advanced to the state tournament. I saw Mike Brown's tweets about that game where they were down 3-2
Right.
in the seventh inning, I believe, with 2 outs left, and they scored 2.
They've been doing that all year.
Yeah, just comeback kids.
Yep.
As Bishop Kelly is back into the state tournament, finished runner-up last year, and they're going to be able to fix their pitching and just let everybody rest and see how they can do in the state tournament. Owasso, after missing out last year, is back. Shocker.
Right.
Who would have thought, who was going to bet that they were going to miss 2 years in a row? But the Rams, they dispatched Union in an elimination game yesterday to advance back to the state tournament. So Owasso getting it done in Class 5A. You have the defending state champs, 3-time champs, Carl Albert, back into the state tournament. And now joining us is their head coach, Wayne Dozier. He joins the program. Coach, I know it was a short notice to get you on the program this morning, so I appreciate you taking some time to talk in a little Carl Albert baseball, and congratulations on making it back to the state tournament.
No, thank you.
Now let's talk a little bit about first the end of the regular season with Chickasha playing so well and then claiming the district championship and getting that 1 seed. Was there any letdown by letting the district slip away, or did you know that once regionals started, once you guys got into that playoff mode, it would be like the last 3 years where, okay, it's the new season, let's turn it on and figure some things out?
Well, our goal is just to host, and it's nice to win the district, but sometimes it may be better if you don't win the district on who you line up with, and we'll find out if that's true or not. But we played well in the regional like we have for years. This is our 10th year in a row to go to the state tournament, so we're really proud of our guys, and they turned it on a little bit this week and played a lot better than we played through the course of the season.
Now let me ask you this: what was so different over the last couple of weeks as opposed to around the beginning of April that changed, and what did you see in your team?
Oh, just a little bit of difference in work ethic and urgency. As May rolled around, we always talk about we're not going to be too worried through March and April. We're just going to play and move some people around and try to get our plan ready for May. And, we've kind of done that. Our guys know that May's the time that we're really playing for and working for. So, they buy into that, and it's a time of the year where there's just a little bit different feel around practice in the locker room and everything.
Talking with Carl Albert's baseball coach Wayne Dozier here on the OK Preps Roundup. Carl Albert back into the state tournament. They are the 3-time defending state champs. Coach, how was the weather in dealing and moving some games around, and what kind of effect did that have on the kids and the various teams at your regional?
Well, the weather was tough. It took us 3 days to get the first 4 games in, and that's supposed to be the first day. We had a lot of work to do on the field and a lot of tarping the field, untarping it, and then having to get it dry where water ran underneath because of the significant rainfall kind of flooded underneath the tarp. So there was extra work to do, but it didn't affect our kids. I know Lawton Mack had a tough time that first day they were here. They were stuck in our field house for hours. Ended up having to spend the night, and so it had a little bit of effect on them, but we were able to set it up where they got to go home after that one night and not play the next day. And so I think they got the rest they needed when they came back yesterday. So it's been brutal, but brutal on everyone, I think, statewide to fight that rain. And, as high school coaches, you're the field crew and the coaches. So that makes it tough on old guys like me and all the other coaches around that sometimes struggle to do that as they get older.
Hey, Coach Ben Johnson, thanks for joining us today. The weather's been kind of the narrative all week long. For you guys to be able to clinch that state berth. I know 5A more teams qualified than what 6A has going on right now, but How much of an advantage is it to be able to kind of sit through this weekend and early next week and kind of see how things play out? And, do you just kind of throw some side sessions with your pitchers, or, how do you – what's the preparation like going into next Thursday?
Oh, well, we'll do what we've done in the past. We've always set it up where we've played type of a control-type scrimmage or, a game situation early in the week with our guys against each other, and so they get that game feel, and then we kind of go back over all of our defensive stuff and work defense hard one day, and then the day before the games begin, we have a pretty light workout, but it's it's focused and intense, but short, and we do that about every year, so they know what to expect, and then we want to keep them in game ready, so we'll have one day that's pretty well focused on a game-type atmosphere, even though it's an inter-squad scrimmage situation.
Now, Coach, Ben mentioned that several teams have already qualified in 5A for the state tournament. Do you already know who your first-round opponent will be, or is it a game, or does that opponent, are they going to be trying to qualify today or Monday, depending on the weather?
I don't really know. I know we play the winner of the Tulsa Memorial Regional, and I've heard that Memorial's in the driver's seat there, but I don't know if they finished yesterday or if they need to finish today or Monday. So we're still waiting to hear there. We know that there's 5 teams in, and there's still 3 regionals that are up in the air.
Last I knew, Coweta and Grover playing an elimination game to be able to advance to play Memorial.
Oh, okay.
Now, do you know Memorial, they almost finished their district season undefeated. Have you seen them this year? Because they obviously look like the favorite to take the regional. Do you know a whole lot about them? Do you make a trip up to Tulsa this weekend or Monday if it gets delayed to do some scouting?
Well, we wouldn't go today. Monday would be a possibility, but I don't know for sure. I think a lot of times maybe we get as much information or more information just by talking to other coaches. Other coaches always, I know when we play people know what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So, word of mouth, word gets around. We'll hear what they've got and see what they can do. If the times are right on Monday, we would consider that, but I have to find out, what times that would be.
Well, Coach, we'll get you out of here on this because we'd be mistaken if we didn't mention it. 3 straight state championships. You're back into the state tournament. What's it going to take to win that 4th?
Well, I think the same thing as any other year. It's not how good you are; it's how well you handle the situations and the atmosphere of the state tournament. We've gone in at times and didn't handle the situation well and had games that were closer than they should be or gotten beat in the past. And some other times we've gone in with and played a team that was clearly better than us, but we were able to beat them because we handled the atmosphere better. So it's the teams and the players that can handle the atmosphere and make the most of the situations when they have an opportunity to rise. They make sure the other team pays for their mistakes. I mean, that's just going to be successful.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking some time this morning. Again, thank you for the short notice. Appreciate you joining us to talk about your program, making it back to state. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
That's Wayne Dozier, Carl Albert head coach. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm tearing up. I get a little emotional.
Get emotional about it.
I get a little emotional talking about Carl Albert. Got a tickle in my throat, man. Every time I start talking for a little bit, it is just brutal. Just brutal. But I'm going to fight through it. Because we got some more state tournament qualifiers to talk a little bit about.
Okay.
As we wrap up this baseball segment. In Class 5A, some other qualifiers. We mentioned Chickasha. They stole that district title in Carl Albert's district. They've made it to state. Deer Creek's made it to state.
Yep.
Noble has also qualified for
the
state.
Bears.
That's right. Dub Bears. Shawnee has made it to state. And how about this? Collinsville stealing a spot in the state tournament. Now, we know that they've been good over the last couple of years. This year looked like a down year for them. They jump up. I believe they were in the prior regional, and they steal one of those state tournament spots. So Collinsville back into the state tournament. That's a dangerous team because they know what to do when it comes to that 3-day single elimination tourney. They've been there before. They get back in a year where a lot of people, including myself, thought it might be a down year for them. I liked Pryor this season, and I thought, they have a good chance to make it to state, but Collinsville jumping up and surprising them.
You can never count out a team that has Tony Reeder coaching it. I've always enjoyed watching his teams play. He's not one of those coaches that, gets caught up in every play and just loses his emotions. He's pretty even-keeled the whole time, does a great job managing the program, not just on game day, but, in between games. I mean, Collinsville's definitely lucky to have a guy like him coaching the team because he's about as good as they get in the state.
Class 4A, a lot of incomplete stuff. It was very difficult to figure out who might be in state, who might not. But right now, I have no qualifiers. I don't think anybody has qualified for state in Class 4A. 3A, I know that Verdigris has. I know that Vian has. We were trying to get Brian Keith on as Verdigris, the 4-time state champs in 3A. They're back into the state tournament. He said that Wagner and Hara are going to be playing their regional there, and he had to pump out right field, so he wasn't able to join us because 2 other teams were coming in to play their regional at their ballpark. So, interesting situation there as Verdigris back into the state tournament. Hats off to them. Vian, a dangerous team all year. They're going back to state in Class 2A. Dale is back in. Worcester is back in as well. And then, of course, Class A and B, the state fields are already decided. Those games taking place next week, which I saw this. Class A, Roth, powerhouse, right?
Right.
Finished the season undefeated. You're thinking, all right, they're going to possibly have a perfect season. They played a game with Stillwater on Monday. After they've already qualified for the state tournament, they played Stillwater on Monday and lost. So the perfect season's done. They play. I don't know how they do it, but
I was under the impression that once you qualified for the state tournament, you weren't allowed to play anyone else.
They lost to Stillwater.
Because I've seen
Monday.
that happen in softball before, where teams have played a game before the state tournament, and that's kind of a no-no as far as
I
been
saw
told.
the tweet from Mike Brown. I saw the tweet with the hashtag OKPreps at the front.
That's very interesting.
So I'll look at the OSSA website real quick, but Roth, who was trying to go for a perfect season this year, played Stillwater on Monday, which obviously raises a bunch of questions. Like, first off, why are you playing the game? I mean, I get it. I get it. Gearing up for the state tournament.
Sure.
Makes sense, but still, you got a perfect season. You're playing the defending 6A state champs.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't know about that. That's very interesting. I mean, I'm sure that in the long run, the perfect season isn't really what matters to them. The state championship is, but that is kind of curious. And again, I mean, we're talking about a Class A school, so
Losing to Stillwater is no slap on the
right.
hand.
And not only that, but maybe they're not like Carl Albert and don't have the numbers to be able to have an inter squad. Maybe that's what's going on.
Well, I'll say this: it is on the OSSA site. They lost 15-7 on Monday. So, interesting happenings in Class A. All right, we got to switch gears and talk some soccer. Coming up next, we're going to have Union girls coach Brian Elliott. Interesting scenario there, as their game was called at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they were probably going to go on to beat Broken Arrow anyway. Their game is called at halftime, up 3-1. They're still undefeated. We'll talk with him about his program coming up next. We're also going to talk with Connor McGinnis, just everything star at Heritage Hall. He's going to join us. He tied the school record for most goals in a career earlier this week. Their game last night, quarterfinal matchup, got pushed to Monday, so he's going to join the program. Also led Heritage Hall to a state football championship, so we're going to talk with him and talk some soccer next segment as well. And we obviously have to ask him the question, what's it like playing for Tommy Riley?
Right.
One of our favorite
Oh,
guests.
of course.
He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. This is the OK Preps Roundup here on your home for sports and sports animal, as well as streaming all over the world on the OK Preps Network.
Hey, McAllister, we're coming back this Thursday. This is Big Al. I'll be at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford from 11 to 2, right after Patrick Masick broadcasts the Sports Mix from 9 to 11. We'll both be talking sports and registering you to win a Rangers weekend for May 16th and 17th that comes with game tickets, hotel stay, and Rangers merchandise. You can also toss a ball to win other Rangers merchandise and Nitro Circus Live tickets for the May 21st event at the BOK Center. So come see Patrick and me this Thursday from 9 to to 2 at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAllister.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
Or your car takes synthetic oil. We'll honor free oil changes for life up to 4 times a year or every 5,000 miles. Get a free oil change as long as you own your Hodge Ford. That's the Hodge Promise.
You heard it from the owner himself. Free oil changes for life at Hodge Ford. Experience the Hodge Ford difference. Come by or call today or go to HodgeFord.com. Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main in Muskogee.
For those watching on the OK Preps Network, you've already seen the amazing changes to OKPreps.tv. For those listening on the Sports Animal, come look at the new and improved OK Preps. Now more fan-friendly, OK Preps has school pages for every school across Oklahoma, and with updated team pages and, of course, that can't-miss coverage and live broadcasts, OK Preps has become the state's all-around leader for high school sports in just about every category. You got the articles, you got the videos, you got the games. What else could you want? Check out okpreps.tv today. It's also got the OK Preps Roundup, which I know I'm biased, but could be the greatest high school sports show in the history of the world.
That sounds about right.
I'm going to go ahead and rank us right there.
Okay.
Number 1.
All right.
Number 1.
Numero uno.
All time. Joining us now is Union Girls soccer coach Brian Elliott. Coach, first off, thanks for taking some time this morning to join us on the OK Preps Roundup. I know that last night must have been an interesting scenario as you're playing a Broken Arrow team that you saw twice during the regular season, and it's a quarterfinal matchup, but at the same time, it's called at halftime due to lightning.
Well, thank you for having me on to talk about our program and our girls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to the rules, once you've got to start second half. So we were into the second half about 8 minutes when the lightning came. We were up 3-1, so they automatically cleared the stands and put the teams in the locker room. And then it boiled down to Mike Clark at OSSAA and the athletic directors getting together and deciding how long we were going to wait. So our point time was start the game at 9:30. So if there was any lightning after 9 o'clock, it was over.
Now, Coach, I know that it's a difficult deal. You're into the semifinals. You're obviously happy, but at the same time, if you're Broken Arrow, does it leave a sour taste in your mouth that that's the way the season has come to an end?
Oh, it's got to hurt. Dave Cosby and his girls, they're awesome. They're a great team. He's a great coach. He's my neighbor. I recruited him to play college for me. Yeah, it hurts. They came across the field into our locker room to congratulate us, and just to see them hurting, it's a hard way to end. And OSSA, I'm sure, will look at the way they decide these. That's kind of the way it's done across the board at all levels. So it's not unusual to do it this way, but yeah, it hurts. It hurts to see them. I'm happy for our girls, but it's not the best way to end it now.
Let's talk a little bit about your team and some of the individuals, that has starred for your squad this year. Parker Goins, I know that going into yesterday that she had back-to-back hat tricks. I don't know if she scored any goals last night, but how special has she been this season?
Well, Parker'd be embarrassed to for us to just talk about her. Parker kind of, middle of the season, was kind of struggling a little bit to try to score, and she was pressing. We got the Jinx game, and she got a hat trick. Next thing you know, we play Bartlesville. She gets another one. So I believe that's her third one of the year. But we played 17 girls last night. We've had 14 girls score goals, and we've got 4 girls that have scored a lot of goals. So we're a team, and Parker will be the first one to tell you that it's not about her, and she's very humble, along with the rest of the girls. It's just about finding success individually to help the team.
Coach Ben Johnson, thanks for joining us this morning. How much of an advantage is it for you guys to already have that quarterfinal win and just kind of sit back and wait for Edmond North and Edmond Memorial to play? Do you just kind of relax and wait to see how it plays out? How do you go about doing that?
I told the girls to go have a nice weekend, relax, and don't worry about anything next week. And we won't worry about who the opponent is in the next game. What we'll look at is our training session Monday and focus on it. And then we'll start thinking about who the opponent is when we find that out. We just like to take it a practice at a time, and then, our pregame's important, and then a half at a time.
Now,
focusing too far.
Are the Edmond schools supposed to play Monday, or do you know if they're playing today?
From what I understand, they'll play Monday night, as will Norman North, and I believe it's Mustang.
So is there an advantage for you guys having that extra rest where they might have to play back-to-back days?
It's nice to keep our schedule. I think that might be an advantage for us. Our Tuesday-Friday schedule is something we're accustomed to. I don't know what OSSA will do as far as those teams playing Monday. If we will still play Tuesday, that's up to them.
Okay.
We're talking with Union Girls Soccer Coach Brian Elliott here on the OK Preps Roundup. Coach, have you seen either Edmond North or Edmond Memorial this season? And if you have, I know that you're focused on resting this weekend, keeping the same routine. But in the pit of your stomach, is there a team you'd rather see in the semifinals?
No, we don't want to worry about the opponent. Both those schools we've seen. Edmond Memorial, just last year when we were 15-0 at their place, they're a very good team. I saw them earlier this year. Edmond North we saw in a tournament, and they're both very good teams. Either opponent is going to be prepared to play us, and we'll be ready to go.
And, Coach, we'll get you out of here on this. You mentioned 15-0 last year. You're undefeated this season. Has the talk of a perfect season been brought up, whether it's between the girls or anything like that? Because once you're into the state tournament, we talk about it all the time, where, okay, you went through the regular season without a loss. Now you really can't lose because it's a one-and-done situation.
Well, right now, there's been no talk of that. They've carried the pain along with our girls that graduated of losing last year. Right now, as far as we're concerned, we're going into the third round of the season, so we're 0-0 right now, and the only thing that counts is the next game.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the time this morning. Congratulations on making it to the semifinals. Looking forward to seeing you guys down the road, and obviously a possible perfect season is something that will grab a lot of people's attention. So good luck to your girls on the way to a possible state championship.
Well, we'll just enjoy our weekend and get ready for next week, and I appreciate you guys and all you do for us, and God bless y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. That is Union Girls Soccer Coach Brian Elliott joining the program, talking about his undefeated squad. They knocked off Broken Arrow yesterday to advance to the 6A semifinals, and I'll tell you, that'll be tough if Edmond Memorial or Edmond North has to play Union the next night after battling each other on Monday. It'd be extremely tough. I would expect the OSSA to push back the semifinals. I don't think they would ask them to play back-to-backs. But then again, we've seen crazier things happen over the last 5 years or so.
If that's the case, you get your choice of playing back-to-back there or playing maybe 2 games in 3 days for the championship.
Right.
So it's kind of take your pick.
Yeah.
Unless they want to push soccer into the next week, which I doubt that they would, but who knows? Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see on that. We switch gears and talk 5A soccer with Heritage Hall star Connor McGinnis. He joins the program now. just everything star, led Heritage Hall to a state championship in football, played both quarterback and cornerback for that squad, and he's been a soccer star the last couple of years, tied the career record for most goals. Connor, always enjoyed talking to you. Thanks for taking some time this morning to jump on the OK Preps Roundup.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You tied the record on Tuesday. You had a chance to break it last night until the game got postponed until Monday. When you tied it on Tuesday in the win, did you know that you had tied it, or were you informed afterwards?
Yeah, I knew I had tied it, and actually my coach didn't know that I had tied it, and so he kind of pulled a lot of us out. I kind of walked up to him and was like, why'd you do that? And he goes, oh, my bad. Well, it'll give you more incentive to play next week, so sorry for you.
Now,
Tommy Riley.
Yeah, you mentioned your coach, Tommy Riley, who we had on the show about a month ago to talk about your squad, and it was awesome talking to him. Obviously, the first thing you notice is the accent, funny guy. What's it like to play for Coach Riley?
Oh, it's awesome to play for Coach Riley. I've known him since I was little. He used to do soccer camps, so, it's great to have a coach like him who knows his stuff, and, like his accent, he's awesome to be around and, fun player to play for.
Connor, it's Ben Johnson. Thanks for joining us this morning. You guys are getting set to play Capitol Hill. Are you guys playing Monday, I'm guessing?
Yes, I believe we play Monday.
You guys have already beat them once this season. Is that an advantage for you guys going in, or how do you approach that game, already having beaten them almost a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, we're just gonna approach it like we always approach our games, going in, having some fun. Not stressing out too much. We've been here before, so we're ready for this stage.
And it looks like Capitol Hill is the only team to score on you guys in the last month or so. A little incentive for you guys to maybe shut them out this time.
Yeah, it definitely will be. We'll have our, I guess you could call them our star center back. So it'll be fun.
Talking with Heritage Hall's Connor McGinnis here on the OK Preps Roundup. Connor, you lost earlier this season, and it ended a pretty lengthy winning streak. And we asked Coach Riley how you guys bounced back after that loss, because let's face it, you haven't been used to losing either in football or soccer the last couple of years. How did you guys bounce back from the players' standpoint, talking afterwards in the locker room or whatever it may be? And how did you guys, refocus to get back on the field and get back to your winning ways?
You see, that was one of the things that I really liked about this team was after that loss, you didn't really see many tears. You didn't see many. It was almost like I don't want to say a weight was lifted off our shoulders, but we knew at that point, like, we are beatable. And so it went from us playing not to lose to us playing to win, which has changed this team a little bit so far throughout the rest of the season.
We'll get back to soccer in a moment, but definitely want to take some time to talk a little football while we have you. Back in February, I believe, you let me know that you were going to be a preferred walk-on at the University of Oklahoma. Have you ever thought about, playing both sports at OU, or are you just strictly going to try football at the next level?
Well, at OU, they do not have soccer for men, so that's. Not actually 100%. I was just going to play football in the beginning. So, soccer has been really good to me, and I've had a lot of fun playing it, but football's always been my number one passion.
Connor, I apologize. You obviously, everybody knows now that I only focus on high school sports, not knowing that OU doesn't have a men's soccer program. Who would have thought? That's interesting, at least, to know.
I found that out when I went to OSU, that they didn't have men's soccer either, and I found that very interesting.
It's kind of odd a little bit. Now, football-wise, did you watch spring football unfold at OU, and did you see, the quarterback situation there, where, who knows who's going to be the starter in the fall with all four of those guys battling for the spot? Did that get you more excited to really throw your name in the ring?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The reason why I chose to go to OU is for the competition. You don't go, for a place like OU, that's what it's all about, is being able to compete with some of the top quarterbacks in the nation. So I'm really excited to throw my name in there and see what happens.
Now, getting back to soccer, obviously you guys are the two-time champs. You mentioned how the loss earlier has kind of motivated you guys to say, okay, look, we can be beat. What is it going to take for you guys to win the next 3 games and bring home another state championship?
For us, it's just playing with each other. I mean, it seems pretty cliche, but just the whole playing for each other and, not having any mental lapses, because this team is something special that I've noticed past couple of years. We've been really good past couple of years. This team, there's just a chemistry that I kind of could combine back with football. There's just something different about the way we play together and how much fun we had together. So, yep.
And for you personally, we mentioned how fun it's been playing for Coach Riley, but during your career, it has to be a blessing to play soccer for Coach Riley and also football for Coach Bogert, who has been one of the best coaches in the state for a long time now, and last season was his last. How sweet was it to cap off his career with a state championship?
Oh, it was absolutely, being able to play for such 2 great coaches and 2 great sports, it's just something that I can't take for granted. And being able to cap off the season for Coach Bogert with the state championship was awesome. We're hoping to do the same thing for Coach Riley.
Well, Connor, I always enjoy talking to you. Congratulations on tying the record. Looking forward to Monday to seeing if you can break yet another record there at Heritage Hall and finish off your season with another state championship.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
That's Connor McGinnis, Heritage Hall star. OU doesn't have men's soccer?
Nope, they sure don't.
Man, you learn something new every day. I'll blame it on the allergy medicine. I knew that.
I figured that's what it was.
I knew that. I'm just cloudy. What do you want me to do?
Right.
I'm like the weather outside.
Right.
By the way, baseball update, I saw the tweets. 7-run inning for Stillwater.
Yeah, we're looking at the if necessary game right now.
Yeah, they turned it on Ponca City. They lead it 9-2 at last check, and they're closing in on probably the 6th inning by now, and the Pioneers in control of that one. Hour number 1 in the books. We'll keep you up to date, Stillwater fans, on the going-ons there as it happens. But right now it looks like that if necessary game will be necessary later on today. I'm assuming they'll play later on today, hopefully.
I'll probably turn right around and play again.
Yeah, like
have
within
to
30 minutes.
Get out of there before the rain hits.
Exactly. Again, should have played it in Enid. Just saying. All right, we're taking a break. When we come back, we're going to talk football with the newest Division I commit in the 2016 class, Del City quarterback Terry Wilson. He's going to join the program and talk about his commitment to Nebraska. We're also going to talk about the OK Gridiron Big Board rankings that were released earlier this week. We released offense last week and then defense and athletes this week. So we'll talk about some of those players that headline those groups. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. This is the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports, the sports animal, and the OK Preps Network.
After their sellout first U.S. tour last year, Nitro Circus Live is coming back to North America and making their first ever stop in Tulsa at the BOK Center May 21st. Nitro Circus features 40 of the world's best extreme athletes performing record-breaking tricks in FMX, BMX, and skate. Tickets are on sale now at BOKCenter.com. Tune in right here to win tickets to this first time in Tulsa event. From Nitro Circus Live, the BOK Center, and your home for great giveaways.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
on another roof with Roofscapes Exteriors owner Clint Vaughn. Whose roof are we on this time? Man, this thing is worn out.
We're actually on a roof of a fellow Tulsa resident who's been nominated for our No Roof Left Behind program.
No roof left behind?
That's right. Every year, we give away and install a free roof to a Tulsa County resident who has fallen on some hard times and simply can't get it done otherwise. We encourage people to go now to our website, roofscapesexteriors.com, to vote for the person they think is the most deserving.
Wow, that's awesome, Clint. Good for you.
Actually, good for a deserving person in Tulsa. We've selected the 4 finalists, and the community can now vote on a winner through May 23rd. The winner will be revealed on June 1st, and it all ends with an installation celebration party June 13th. But people have to go to our website, roofscapesexteriors.com, to vote.
That is good for someone. Hey, I wasn't involved in some calamity this commercial.
Oh, there's still time. We need to go down the ladder.
Sometimes you just need to slow down a little. Take your time. Relax. That's not what you get when you shop for a vehicle in the big city.
Give me your keys. Look here. Sit there. Sign this.
Not at Harlan Ford. For over 62 years, they've been making deals in a relaxed environment with a handshake in historic downtown Okmulgee. At Harlan Ford, it's not the small-town way for you to buy a vehicle. It's the Harlan way. Harlan Ford, just a short, easy drive down Highway 75 from Tulsa on the corner of Muskogee and Main Street in Okmulgee.
Hey, are you looking for a job? Everybody should be looking, to improve their current situation. And if you're looking for a new and exciting career, OK Preps is the place for you. It's the fastest growing, just combine those words, high school sports network, and they're looking for a marketing and sales director. If you think that you're perfect for that role in our growing network, you can call 918-615-9615, or you can email jobs@okpreps.tv. Change your future today by joining the OK Preps Network. This is the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports to sports animal, as well as simulcast live, as well as on demand on okpreps.tv/roundup. If you miss any of the interviews, like the one we're about to do with the newest Nebraska commit, Terry Wilson, you can check out Roundup Replay on the homepage as well. And joining us is the newest commit to the University of Nebraska, Del City quarterback, also the 6th Division I commit in the 2016 class. Terry Wilson joins the program this morning. Terry, first off, good morning. Hopefully you're staying dry over there in the Mid-Del area, as obviously rain has been the headline so far. But thanks for taking some time this morning to talk a little football with us.
Thanks for having me. What
led to the decision to go ahead and end your commitment? Because you've been picking up offers, it seems like every other day. You're tweeting out a new offer from a Division I program. What led to you saying, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and make my decision now? Because you know that schools are going to continue to keep offering you, especially with spring football right around the corner.
Yeah, of course. I knew it was time for me to commit. Nebraska, they were my top one since, they offered, and it's been like that. And, since all the other offers been coming in, my odds still been on Nebraska strongly. And I took my visit down there last year, and I loved it. The only thing I have to do right now is just, meet Coach Riley in person. And, that's just going to seal the deal, and meet the rest of the staff. But I talked it over with my mom and my head coach, and, they were like, if you're down, dude, if you feel comfortable with that decision, just make it happen. And so I called Coach Riley and made it happen.
How much have you been in contact with Coach Riley, even going back to his Oregon State days? Because, look, there's no secret, Oregon State recruits Oklahoma well under Coach Riley. And to be honest, ever since he left, it seems that their attention in Oklahoma has dropped off a bit. Did he reach out to you, or did his staff at Oregon State reach out to you at all? Or did his contact start when he left for Nebraska?
When I was a freshman, Oregon State came by, Coach Perry came by, and they watched me throw as a freshman. And, I really didn't get to talk to Coach Riley personally, but, I talked to Coach Perry because he was there for, a former athlete, Corey Lawrence. And, and I really didn't get to talk to Coach Riley. That didn't start till maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, actually. So that's when that contact started happening with Coach Riley, and it started from there.
I saw a quote that was released earlier this week from you about Coach Riley and his history with quarterbacks. Obviously, his latest QB at Oregon State, Sean Mannion, he was drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, I believe, in last week's draft. And you talked a little bit about that, how Coach Riley has had some success sending quarterbacks to the next level. Is that, the plan for you? Would you like to play in the league, or, what's your plan after college football?
If God leads me to the NFL, then that's great. But I'm going to do my 4 years at University of Nebraska, and just play for a wonderful coach, Coach Riley and Coach Langsdorf, because they know what they're doing, and I'm going to trust them. I'm just going to stay with the system for 4 years and see what happens.
Hey, Terry, it's Ben Johnson. Thanks for coming on with us this morning. As you get ready for your senior season, what are you working on to improve with your last high school season coming up?
What I'm working on is improve. I'm just watching film and, just trying to make quicker reads, see pre-snaps and post-snaps quicker, just make quicker reads. And, I'm still working on my technique, just making sure it can always stay crisp and, just work on those type of things and build that relationship with my new upcoming receivers, because we lost some receivers. So that's my main goal this summer.
Talking with Del City quarterback Terry Wilson, as well as the newest commit to the University of Nebraska. And if he goes ahead and signs with the Big Red, he'll be the second straight Oklahoman to sign with Nebraska. Jalen Barnett of Lawton signed with the Huskers. And before that, you have to go all the way back to 2005 before you see an Oklahoman signing with Nebraska. Terry, how has the offseason been? I know that I've seen you at a couple of camps and workouts and things of that nature. I saw you down in Dallas at the opening sponsored by Nike. Fared well there at the Elite 11. How has your offseason been going? And you talked about what you're trying to improve on. What have you already seen improvements on in your game throughout this offseason workouts?
Well, right now I'm in track, so I'm working on my speed, and that's going to transfer over to the field. But I go over a few plays by myself, actually at home, just watching film, watching a lot of film, just getting ready for game one. Me and my coach, we go over it, and just learning some more plays and just making things easier for me. I won't be starting to get back on the field until like late May, so that's when I'm going to really just start working my weaknesses, and yeah.
Hey, Terry, how important are those 7-on-7s going to be for you this summer? You talked about getting to know a lot of your new receivers. How much importance are you going to place on that and, getting with those guys and building a rhythm during the summertime?
It's going to be really important because, your receivers are your guys. And, you got to have that relationship. But, yeah, it's going to be a big, important thing to me because I really want to go to 7-on-7 and, execute and dominate on them. So I want people to know that Del City got some receivers lined up again.
Now let me ask you this, Terry. I always enjoy talking to guys who just committed to a Division I program, because the conversation in the last couple of years has been football needs an early signing period. That might cut back on some of the hardships of recruiting and the stress of recruiting. If there was a signing day, let's say, the first Wednesday in September, would you go ahead and sign with Nebraska, or would you wait until the February signing day?
I think I'd stay with the February signing, just stick with tradition. But I could see, signing in September because, if your eyes are straight on Nebraska or any university, then they'd probably want to get that out the way.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation if we ever do see an early signing period. Well, Terry, I appreciate you taking some time this morning to join us. Congratulations on the big decision. Looking forward to seeing how your senior season pans out at Del City, as well as how your career goes at Nebraska. We'll definitely be keeping tabs on you and wish you nothing but the best.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
As Del City quarterback Terry Wilson, also the newest commit to the University of Nebraska, commit number 6 in the Oklahoma 2016 class, which, by the way, you guys need to check out okpreps.tv/gridiron, because right there on the Gridiron homepage, scroll down a little bit, we have a growing table list of recruits where every single time there's a Division I commit, we add another player profile. You can go check out Terry Wilson's player profile. It includes highlights. It includes stories on Wilson that we've written about him in the last couple of months, as well as his ranking, scouting report, as well as who he has offers from. And, of course, only one offer matters right now for him, and that's that offer to Nebraska. But also on the Gridiron page is our big board rankings. Terry comes in at number 2 on the quarterback section, just behind Michael Wilson. So Michael Wilson, the number 1 quarterback in the state. Look, he's got all the tools, man. We've talked a lot about him, and there's not a whole lot to not like about Michael Wilson.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think that'll be a guy that TU might look back on and think, man, I wish we could have gotten that guy.
Yeah.
Because you come from a system where Darren Melton, I mean, the offense runs at a high pace and scores a lot of points.
Yep.
He'd be going into the same thing at TU, so I'm not sure there'd be a whole lot of transition for him. Just step right in, and sure, the athletes are going to be better. The speed of the game is going to be faster, but he would have a pretty good idea of what's going on, and I think unless something were to happen and maybe he drops his Boise State commit, we'll see, but I think TU will wish that they had Michael Wilson.
Running back is the number 1 player, Jeremy Lewis from Lone Grove, a guy that maybe not a lot of people know about, but they should. Nebraska has offered him as well as one of his many Division I offers. You also have OSU commit Justice Hill from Booker T. Washington. He's number 2 on that list. Running backs are loaded. I'll tell you what, I really like this class. We even have a 2017 kid on there, Chris Walker from Fort Gibson. I think he has a chance to be pretty special, but the running back class in Oklahoma this year is going to be fun to watch.
And probably my favorite is Nick Roller, who really doesn't even get mentioned a whole lot because of guys like Jeremy Lewis and Justice Hill. But I can't wait to watch Nick Roller. I mean,
people would mention him more if the fullback position wasn't a dying breed.
See, and the fact that, you know, I watched him probably about as much as you did last year, and he has a fullback body and probably will project as a fullback, but he's a pretty good running back too. I mean, he can just bowl over people, and he's got soft hands too. I saw him catch a couple passes and take them to the house.
He reminds me of Bo Blankenship.
Yeah.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. He reminds me of Bo Blankenship, the standout from Norman North a couple years ago.
Right.
Ended up having I think he signed with Iowa State and then transferred to Ohio.
Yeah.
I know he ended his career there, but I believe he signed with Iowa State. So there is hope for Nick Roller, because I think he's in that same mold of just a bull of a running back who has some just deceiving speed, but at the same time lowers his shoulders. You're probably not going to take him down one-on-one.
Well, a lot of college offenses now are the spread attack, get it to receivers, but there are still some out there that utilize a fullback. And I know OU might not be one of those programs anymore with Lincoln Riley now, but for years they had guys like J.D. Runnels.
Yep.
The fullback was huge.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, even as early as last year with Ripkowski, I mean, he got picked up in the draft as well. He'll find a spot. He'll definitely find a spot.
There will be a spot for him. It'll just be interesting to see where that spot is.
Wide receiver, Jordan Brown is the top guy on the big board, the Stillwater standout. His biggest offer probably Texas Tech. Brown is a guy who I really like. Saw him last June and immediately thought, okay, this kid, he's going to be the top receiver in the state. Also, watch out for Rico Bussey, a standout from Lawton Eisenhower. Those Lawton guys don't get enough pub, and he's one of the more underrated receivers. We have him as number 3. He could probably jump up to that number 2 spot. Definitely want to see how his spring goes if some more schools start jumping on him. And also Jason Pirtle, have him ranked at number 5. I know.
I
know the stigma is that he's too slow, but dude can run some routes and he'll catch anything that's within 5 yards of him.
Well, and just to go back from talking to John Hoover a couple weeks ago, the first installment of his story on Jason and Mason was fantastic, and I can't wait to see how it continues to play out.
Definitely an intriguing and unique piece that we haven't seen before that's unfolding there in Locust Grove. Offensive lineman, I like TJ Fialua from Lawton MacArthur, another
Nice.
Lawton kid. Oh, yeah, man, I know
You
it.
may be stopped up, but you nailed that.
I got it. I don't know that OU, doesn't have a men's soccer team, but I know Fialoa.
There you go.
Lawton Mack, big offensive lineman, a dude who's very aggressive at the point of attack. I really like his game. He's not getting enough pub as well. Luther Harris, the big offensive lineman from Heritage Hall. Also Rowdy Frederick from right here in Broken Arrow. He comes in at number 3. Tyler Brown, probably the fastest rising recruit in the last month or so from Lexington, a little small Class 2A school. Tyler Brown is a beast, though. Watch out for him to continue to get more offers. Athletes, if you move on down the big board, Quan Hogan, number 1 from Norman North. Love his game, whether he's a running back or a receiver at the next level. Battled some injuries last year, but I think he's a guy. I'm surprised he doesn't have more offers, to be honest with you. This dude is explosive. This dude will do whatever he has to, whether it's in special teams, whether it's in the backfield as a running back or in the slot as a receiver. He's a winner. Abe Anderson is a guy who I really like in this class.
You, me both.
Nobody else does. I mean, he finally got his first offer this week from, I think, UCO and Emporia State. I see Dalton Wood when I look at this kid. I'm reminded of Dalton Wood from McAllister. Where did Dalton Wood sign? OU.
Yep.
You only need one school to fall in love with you. Did Dalton Wood have experience as a tight end last year?
I would probably say no.
No, absolutely not. OU saw him as a tight end. You just need one school to look at your game and say, I can turn him into X, whatever that is. And I think that somebody's going to take that chance with Abe Anderson. I think that he's a guy right here in Tulsa who's about to blow up as far as recruiting, because I see his game and I'm reminded of Dalton Wood every time I watch it. I think he's the next guy in Oklahoma. We see it every year where he's a solid football player, probably not a college quarterback, maybe not even a college linebacker. That's his other position, but he's a college something. And there's going to be a D1 program that takes a chance on him.
Yeah, as Metro Christian gets going with spring ball and then goes into the 7-on-7s, and he can kind of show off some of his athletic ability and throwing some passes to Koenig out there, who's also on the big board under wide receivers.
Yep.
I mean, as Metro goes along, Abe is going to get more looks, and the offers are going to be there. It's just they're not there yet, but they'll be there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Defensive backs, Calvin Bundage, also a spoiler alert, will release the 2016 top 50 prospects in the state coming up on Thursday. Last time we released the top rankings, Bundage was our number 1 overall prospect. It's going to take a lot for him not to be number 1 again. Bundage, another safety. Last couple of years, the top players in the state have been safeties with Stephen Parker from Jinx, Will Sunderland from Midwest City. Bundage is that next guy. He just has the build. He has the game. I really like Bundage from Santa Fe. Some people are projecting him as a linebacker. I don't see it. I think he's perfect where he's at safety.
Yeah, to be able to follow in the footsteps of Parker and Sunderland, that's a big load to fill, but clearly he's the guy that can do it.
At linebacker, as far as the various positions, this one, when you get down from 6 to 10, there's a drop-off as far as players in the top 5 and then 6 through 10. Top 5, these are Division I prospects, and then 6 through 10, FCS, high-profile D2s. That's probably what you're looking at there. Jimmy McKinney tops the list from Oologah. We talked with him a couple weeks ago. Just a hard-hitting linebacker from Oologah. Also like Levi Draper, the sophomore from Collinsville. Rounding out the top 5 is a guy I really like, KJ Lee from Wagner. I saw him in his second varsity start ever as a freshman, and I walked up to Dale Condict after the game, and I said, there is no way that this kid is a freshman, because he was 6'2", 210 at that point, starting as a running back along with Lawrence Evett, as well as a linebacker. Dude is a beast, and I told Dale that night, I was like, this kid is going to be special, and he looked at me and he said, I know.
Yeah, when you have guys like KJ Lee, and then you have AJ Freeth, who is also on the wide receiver big board, I believe.
Athletes.
Okay.
Under athletes, because he also plays defense.
Bottom line is Wagner continues to be Wagner and continues to throw athletes out there from anywhere from, like you said, Prince McJunkins, Kevin Peterson.
Yep.
Just athlete after athlete, and we're talking about another kid who's going to blow up, and Not great news for the rest of 4A, considering Wagner won a title and a lot of these guys are back.
Yeah, it's just bad news for everybody there. Defensive linemen, as we wrap up the big board rankings, John Michael Terry, the OU commit from Victory Christian, he tops the list. Noah Jones right behind him from Southmore. Really like Jones's game. I think similar to Josh from Rivals, this guy is still pretty raw, but at the same time, by the end of his college career, we might be looking back on this 2016 class and saying Noah Jones might be the best player in this class as far as his production at the next level. Alex Criddle, a guy from right here in Tulsa at Edison, is another guy I really like. Big, bulky defensive tackle, real aggressive. Looking forward to seeing him along with the other Edison standouts coming up in a couple of weeks. Because spring football right around the corner, man.
Yep.
Right around the corner. Looking forward to getting it out. Looking forward to reporting on it right here on the OK Preps Roundup. We'll obviously talk with a lot more players, a lot of coaches over the next couple of weeks as spring football starts. And let's see, I guess.
A week from Monday.
About 9 days.
A week from Monday.
Let's go, man.
If we can get all the spring sports out of the way. I got to talk to Brandon Craig at Uul Guy yesterday. Said that they're going to fire it up a week from Monday. But a lot of his guys are in track and other sports, so he's going to need those sports to end so he can get going.
Needs Jimmy McKinney.
Yeah, have to have Jimmy McKinney
because he's his favorite thing is to just lay people out.
And Braden Despain and
Braden
Brock
Despain.
Martin.
Oh yeah, which all three of those guys
on the big board
listed on the big board. Check it out, okpreps.tv/gridiron. Also check out the top 50 rankings. We'll talk about it next Saturday, but we're releasing that on Thursday. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Sean Garner from Excel Performance Training. He's going to have another Thrive performance tip for us on the other side of this timeout. I'm Michael Knight, and this is the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports and sports animal, as well as on the OK Preps Network.
Def Leppard. The greatest power pop band to ever masquerade as metal, according to New York Magazine. And their North American tour is coming to the BOK Center in Tulsa October 9th. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com or bokcenter.com. Be listening for your chance to win tickets to see Def Leppard along with Foreigner and Tesla on your home for great giveaways. The Sports Animal.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
There we go. OK Preps Roundup each and every single Saturday morning from 9 to 11. Glad to be back in the Sports Animal Studios here on the 55th floor of the Cityplex Towers. Last week, obviously, just did radio only, so glad to not only be back on your home for sports to sports animal, but also on the OK Preps Network. If you miss any interviews, if you missed that Terry Wilson interview in our last segment, be sure to check out okpreps.tv. Right on the homepage, we have our Roundup Rewinds, which will feature the best interviews, which, I mean, pretty much every interview.
There's a lot of interviews to go through because those are fantastic.
All of them are great. Every single week we put up the best of the best up on Roundup Rewind, and you can check those out to rewatch your favorite interview, or if you missed it, missed your coach talking, player talking, you can check that out there.
We have an update.
All right.
10-3, Stillwater.
I love this morning baseball.
I know, don't you?
This is good stuff.
I know. Can we get them to ship them off to the East Coast a couple Saturdays and let them start playing? We'll just start updating from here.
You know what would be awesome if we did this during football season and we had some football scores going on?
Yeah.
That would be crazy, which, by the way.
Or we'll broadcast from a game or something.
Ooh, yeah. I like that idea.
There we go.
I like that idea. Okay, Preps Roundup on the road.
There we go.
Roundup game day. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to mention Jason Elmquist at the Stillwater paper took some photos last night.
Oh, yeah.
During the rain delay.
Good stuff.
Those are some pretty good photos. Go to stwnewspress.com to check out his photos. Those are pretty good stuff. I mean, normally you have guys just sitting around maybe playing cards or something to dugout.
Right.
Both teams decided to get some sword fights going with the bats and everything.
Nobody hurt.
High
Nobody
school,
hurt.
right. High school kids just having fun.
That's right.
Good wholesome fun.
That's what you want to see.
With swords.
With swords as bats. Every week we're happy to welcome in Sean Garner of Excel Performance Training. Sean joins the program every Saturday with a Thrive Tip of the Week. And Sean is out in the gym right now. So, Sean, we'll go ahead and let you take the floor.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. Again, we are here at Excel Performance Training for this week's Thrive Training Tip. This week, what we want to do is talk about core training, kind of some of the different variations that we use here, and what exactly core training really is. So I think too often there's kind of a misconception about what the core is. A lot of times when people talk about core training, they just think about the abs, think of traditional exercises like sit-ups, crunches, side bends, that kind of thing. But what the core is in actuality is all the musculature in between the hips and the shoulders on the anterior or posterior side or the front or the back side of your body. So it encompasses so much more than just the abdominals. It's only about a quarter of what we're trying to train. We're actually talking about true core training. One of our favorite things that we like to do for training the core is different variations of loaded carries. So there's so many different options that we can use for these. Our top two that we like to use is something that's called a farmer's carry and a suitcase carry. Now this is something that can be done with dumbbells, kettlebells. They actually make carrying implements that you can use for this and load it up. You can use barbells, you can use sandbags, just any kind of loaded object that you can do. Keep your shoulder blades back and your core tight. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start out with the kettlebells and show you guys the farmer's walk. For this, we wanna make sure we always have a nice, strong, neutral wrist. We don't wanna sag them forward or back. It's a lot easier to maintain that nice, strong wrist whenever you have kettlebells. With the dumbbells, you'll be able to see later, it's a lot easier to lose that good position. We wanna squeeze our tight core. So whenever, again, we're talking about the core and bracing ourselves, we wanna think about always bringing the bottom of this rib cage down to the top of the hips, flexing everything nice and tight. Then we wanna make sure our shoulder blades are back and down, our stomach's tight, glutes are on, and we're gonna walk just nice and slow as we do this. So as I step back here, you guys will see, I'm not shrugging up. I think that's a lot of times what people tend to do whenever they're doing carries, is they're trying to turn it into a trap exercise. That's not what it is. We're gonna get some grip strength obviously out of this, but the main thing that we're trying to do is go nice and slow. We're working on keeping a nice stable core, hip stabilizers are firing, and everything's nice and tight. What we don't want, and how you can tell if the weight's too heavy, is if you got this side-to-side rocking motion, the shoulders are pulled forward, the shoulders internally rotated. We wanna make sure shoulder blades back, chest is up, stomach's tight as we walk in a slow, controlled motion. Now with this, again, like I said, you can use dumbbells or kettlebells or dumbbells. With the dumbbell, we wanna make sure we have a nice neutral wrist. So a lot of times as you start to fatigue, you'll see athletes or clients do this or have them back like this. Again, everything's tight. This is like a walking plank variation, so that's what you need to be thinking as you're doing this. Another exercise that we can do is the suitcase carry. So this exact same thing, except instead of using two, we're gonna use one. So what we do, same exact conditions, guys. Core is nice and tight, shoulder blades back and down, strong neutral wrist. We like to put our hand behind our head or out to the side to kind of help, and we're gonna walk nice and slow. Now what this does, this challenges the core so much more because we're trying to prevent this rocking side-to-side action. So this is almost gonna be more like a walking side plank. Great exercise to incorporate into your program, guys. We use it here. We do some kind of loaded carry almost every day with our athletes in our adult program. So it's great to incorporate to get that true overall functional athlete that we're trying to build and develop a good, strong athlete. Thank you as always, guys, for watching. We've got our summer program starting. So if you guys like this exercise or you guys are wanting to do more how you can develop yourself into a good functional athlete, please contact us at excelperformancetraining.com or 918-949-4223. And again, next season starts now at Excel Performance Training. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Sean, as always. Looking forward to talking to you again next week. And again, for more information on how you can get hooked up with Excel and start training with the pros, go visit excelperformancetraining.com. And for those listening on the Sports Animal, if you're listening to the segment, you're a little confused about the workout situation and what exactly he was demonstrating, go again and check out Roundup Rewind. We'll have his segment up there as well, his Thrive Tip of the Week, each and every single week for you to go back and watch. It's great hearing from him every single week, and he obviously does some great work with some of Northeast Oklahoma's better athletes as far as getting them better in all shapes and sizes and all different aspects of their game. All right, we're going to talk golf when we come back. First with Trudy Allen, the 6A medalist in girls golf from Union. Also, Union claimed a fifth consecutive. Fifth straight. One for the thumb. Fifth straight 6A state championship. We're going to talk with her when we come back. I also want to bring up an interesting situation with golf earlier this week and with some other sports calling their games early. Ben and I will discuss that as well. Also, we have the Your Take debate coming up in our last segment. Edmond North is going to start their run. Their boys golf team is about to start their run for an 11th consecutive state championship, which got us to thinking, as something always does, makes me ask the question, which program has had the best dynasty since 2000? So we're going back to 2000. In the last 15 years or so, which sports program has had the best dynasty? Right now, Jinx football way in the lead. Obviously, we know about their championships here in this part of the decade. Obviously, 6 straight from 96 to 2001. But we're just focused on 2000, and I believe they have 8 championships since that year. We'll discuss that in our last segment. But Trudy Allen coming up next. Ben Johnson on the other side. I'm Michael Knight. This is the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports, Sports Animal, and streaming all over the world on the OK Preps Network.
Some people like listening to sports on the radio. Some people like listening to music on the radio. But what if we did both? Like having Charles Barkley sing.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop Double G, but I somehow, someway.
No, bad idea. Sports talk only it is then. On your home for sports.
How good was that? Now that is as good as it gets.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
Y'all ready for this?
Yes, I am serious. Download the OK Preps app today. You can go inside your favorite team with up-to-date stats, articles, pictures, and videos. If you can't make it out to the game, it's the perfect solution for you. You're going to be able to get live notifications on your smartphone from your favorite team, and the OK Preps app is available for download right now in the Google Play Store as well as the App Store today. So go check that out for your smartphone. Download it. I downloaded it on my phone. Keep up with it. Notifications are sweet.
There you go.
Sweet. All right, this segment we're going to be talking some golf as well as an interesting scenario with the Class 2A girls golf tournament being called pretty much after the first round. But first, we're going to talk with the 6A girls medalist, Trudy Allen, as well as the representative from the Union team that claimed their 5th consecutive state championship. Trudy Allen joins the OK Preps Roundup this morning. First off, Trudy, congratulations on claiming a state championship, and thanks for joining us this morning on the OK Preps Roundup.
Yeah, thank you. No problem.
Now, Trudy, let's start with winning. For you as an individual, what was it like, and what was going through your head as you were playing in the state tournaments, and playing obviously in wet conditions all week long? What was it like for you?
It was kind of stressful, but it was also a lot of fun because I got to play with Taylor Dobson, who I played with for a long time, and it was very tough out there, so obviously some chunks out there, but it was fun and very tough, and I'm just very happy I got to play out there and play my best.
Hey, Trudy, it's Ben Johnson. Thanks for coming on with us this morning. Has it sunk in yet that you're a state champion? It's been a couple days ago, but has it sunk in yet when people say that to you?
No. I still cannot believe it.
What was school like Friday? Did you just walk around the halls showing your medals off or anything?
Definitely got a few applauses from classes, but yeah, it was still very shocking.
Now, the first day I know you weren't paired with Broken Arrow, but the second day you were based on the standings after the first day.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about how you and Taylor are really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most memorable moment that you can remember playing with Taylor? Is there a certain tournament out there where something happened to you guys, or what's your fondest memory of playing with her?
I think the last day of state, actually. It was just, we got along so well, and she was just very happy for me at the end, and it was just a really great day.
Is it kind of the same with Faith at Owasso? Are you guys all three really close, or?
I'm not as close with Faith, but she's definitely like a little sister.
Okay. Talking with Union girls golfer Trudy Allen, won the 6A medal, as well as a part of that Union team that won their 5th consecutive state championship. Did you guys go into this week's tournament feeling like the underdog, even though you had won 4 straight state championships? But a lot of people around the state thought Broken Arrow was the favorite going in, especially after a couple weeks ago when Broken Arrow won a tournament that you guys were in rather easily. Did you guys feel like the underdog this week?
Yeah, we definitely felt like we were the underdogs, yeah. We just really played our best, and we came out on top.
Did you guys rally around the fact that, look, I know a lot of people aren't expecting us to win the state championship this week, but the facts are facts. We've won the last 4, and I got to imagine that played into your guys' success, especially on the second day when you were trailing Broken Arrow by 3 strokes, and that championship mentality kind of sunk in, and you guys were ready for the moment.
Well, when we knew we were 3 shots behind, we all thought, wow, we can actually really do this, and we all we all played our hearts out, and we really did it.
Trudy, whenever you guys finish up with regionals and you have a couple days off before the state tournament, what did your coach Lindsey Jones have you guys work on the most? To be able to prepare going into the late course there at Indian Springs. Was there a certain part of your game that all the girls had to work on to shave some strokes off your game heading into the final tournament of the year?
We all, after the regional tournament, we all felt like we needed a lot more practice, and we all wanted to, really practice a lot. So everybody went out every day and on their own, and they all practiced all day, every day until state.
Now,
yeah.
Now I got to be honest. Whenever they were handing out the medals and trophies and everything, it's not really up to me to take the photos. There's a photographer out there for the Tulsa World, but I was kind of worried that there might be a photo op opportunity. And you got your medal and you went and they had you stand next to the banner. But then you guys went and took that selfie with your medals. When you saw that picture the next day, did all you girls decide you're going to get that framed? Because I got to be honest, that's a pretty cool photo with you guys in medals in your mouth taking a selfie.
Yeah, that was very cool to see in the paper.
You guys going to go get it framed now?
Yeah, probably.
Hey, Trudy, we'll get you out of here on this. I'm going to throw a hypothetical question out there, and I'm interested to see what you think, because you guys were down as a team after the first day to Broken Arrow, and in a smaller class, Class 2A, their state tournament was called after the first day. They were supposed to play the second, but due to weather, they decided to call it, and the team that was up after the first day won the state championship. If a similar situation happened to you guys where you're only down by 3 and they don't let you play the second day, how would you react to finding out something like that?
I'm not really sure. I'd probably be upset because, we obviously still had a chance. We were only 3 shots behind, so I'd really want to play the second day.
Well, the reason we bring that up, and I wanted to get your thought on that, is we're about to discuss, the ramifications of something like that, where they just decide to call a tournament halfway through it. So definitely appreciate your insight, and congratulations on winning the medalist position as an individual, as well as being a part of yet another state championship team there at Union.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Trudy Allen from the Union Lady Redskins, winning the medal this year as an individual, another state title, 5th in a row for the Lady Skins, and we're going to be talking about dynasties in our next segment.
If you're foreshadowing, she's a junior, and Union pretty much has everyone back next year, so her and Taylor Dobson will be going at it again next year, and Union and BA will be going at it after each other yet again.
Okay, so a conversation I definitely want to have in this segment before we get to the Your Take debate coming up next. Again, you can go vote on okpreps.tv/Your Take. If you're watching us online, just scroll down a little bit. I know you're probably going to lose the video player in your screen. Just deal with it for about 5 seconds and go vote. Real quick, we'll talk about it in our next segment. The Class 2A girls golf tournament was called after the first day. They just crowned the team that was leading after one day the state champion. I believe it was Latta that benefited from that. I don't know how many strokes they were up.
7.
7 strokes. Okay.
They were sitting at 342. Moreland was second at 349. It was probably going to be between those two because Turner was at 371, and there's probably no way they're making up that many strokes in 18 holes.
And who knows if Moreland would have been able to make it up. But you don't want to take an opportunity like that away. I'll tell you what, it makes me think, and I know it's girls golf, so there's not going to be any thing like this where we're basically saying, what in the world is going on? But it makes me wonder, what if something happened like this in football, where it's the state championship game?
Or we don't even have to talk state championship. We can talk any of the playoffs.
Any of the playoffs, even if it's a regular season game.
Sure.
As long as it's in the district.
Right.
Non-district, I don't think there'd be a fight. But if this happened in the sport of football, we know how important football is. We found out one team, they'll take it all the way to the state Supreme Court if they have to erase a decision, and we'll just postpone the entire playoffs until it gets played. What if something like this happened in football? What would the outrage be? I know it's not going to be the same because it is girls golf, but shouldn't we have equal standards here as far as at least finish it?
Right.
I don't get it. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I think, you can say, a lot of these regular season tournaments are 18 holes. That's fine. But whenever you get to regionals and state, you want to play the full allotment. You don't want to just play one day, call it good. I'm sure Moreland's probably sitting at home thinking, we're open to play. We can play whenever.
Yeah.
Let's play at Trustper State Park where they were. Then they were in Del City.
Yep.
Or they can, I'm sure a bunch of teams would agree to play somewhere else if they absolutely had to. They just want to play and have that chance.
I couldn't imagine a situation like that where, again, if it's football or basketball, a more popular sport where halfway through start of the third quarter, halfway through the third quarter, whatever, if it's a state championship game between Jinx and Union, biggest class, whatever, even if it's a small class,
right?
If it's the 3A title game from a year ago, Heritage Hall and Cushing, if they called it in the third quarter and just said, Heritage Hall, you're up right now, weather looks bad,
you're the winner,
state champ,
here's your medal, we're done, let's move on to winter sports.
The outrage from that decision,
right,
it would be unbelievable. And yet there's not going to be a fallout from this, but maybe there should.
I realize that maybe that golf course has something else going on, but there are other contingency plans that can be made, but they're just not.
Just play somewhere else.
Just because the second option is to just call it as it is, and that's what they do. So, which to me, and the same thing happened last night with soccer. We talked to the Union coach about it.
Yep.
Same thing happened between Tahlequah and Metro Christian girls. Best season in Tahlequah girls history. And they get eliminated from the playoffs playing, 45 minutes of soccer when they're supposed to play 80 or 90?
Yep. It's definitely something we need to look into. I know it's spring sports. I know it's girls soccer, boys soccer, girls golf. There's not going to be a fallout like there would be for football. But all I'm saying is maybe there should be. I get it. It's not as popular.
Right.
But at least let them finish.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous, and again, I'm not a girls golf. We barely talked girls golf this spring sports season, but at the same time, you feel bad for the girls who basically got hosed out of winning the state championship because, shrug of the shoulder. What are you going to do?
Yep, played 18 holes. Let's just call it and move on.
Unacceptable, in my opinion. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. We're going to debate about something else coming up on the next segment. Something a little happier. Who has the best dynasty? And we have some pretty good selections. Edmond North's boys golf team going for their 11th consecutive state championship. And if they call it after day one, I think it might be okay because they're probably going to run away with that thing. Edmond North going for their 11th straight. We'll talk about them as a contender. Jinx football, obviously one of the top contenders. Your take debate coming up next on the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports and sports animal, as well as on the OK Preps Network.
The NL Central has been Cardinals territory. This year, St. Louis will battle to stay on top and fight to reach the World Series.
Swing the long one. Get up, baby. Get up. Oh, yeah.
Cardinals Baseball on the Animal is brought to you by Green Country Ford, Roofscapes Exteriors, and the St. Louis Union Station Hotel.
Let's hit deep to center field. Way back and off the wall.
We're your home for Cards Baseball. AM 1550, 94.5 FM, and 96.1 FM, the Sports Animal.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.
Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology's flight program is designed to get you flying in your first week. You can spend less time in lectures and more time practicing what you've learned, so you could be certified in only 12 months. Also, our degree graduates are able to go for their ATP certification with reduced flight hours. Train for a career as a cargo, corporate, or airline pilot. For more information on starting an exciting new career, go to spartan.edu.
Each and every single week, generally on Monday, we release the Your Take poll. You can go to okpreps.tv/yourtake and vote. Each and every single week on Saturday, we'll wrap up the program debating the question. And this week, because of Edmond North and their boys golf team about to start their run for a possible 11th consecutive state championship, their success got us to thinking which program has had the best dynasty since 2000. And we're talking championships. You might win 4 in a row, but if you've only won 4 since 2000, you weren't listed. We're talking overall success since 2000. And here are the candidates. Bishop Kelly's girls soccer team, they won 9 in a row in the mid to late 2000s. They've been struggling as of late, but you can't deny their run early on in this decade. Dale Baseball with 7 spring titles as well as 6 fall titles. Edmond North, of course, with their 10 championships, all of them being won in consecutive fashion. Jinx with 8 6A championships since 2000. And, of course, they've won the last 2 or 3. Is it 3 now? Man, you lose track.
I know.
They've won 3 in a row now. As the Trojans, they started this century in the middle of 6 in a row. Perry Wrestling with 12 championships, and of course the good old Other as a strong candidate. But like the people have spoken already, Ben, and the Trojans running away with it. And how can you kind of argue with them as far as their success overall, and then their success since 2000? When you talk about all the players that have run through that program and what they're doing right now with 3 consecutive state championships, looking strong to win a 4th consecutive this fall. Jinx running away with it, but I'll tell you what, you can make the case for any of these programs. They have had a lot of success since the turn of the century.
Yeah, when you talk about Edmond North golf, you can only, a player can only win 4 years in a row, and then he's got to graduate.
Yep.
So to be able to cycle through golfers and just continue to win championships, that's pretty impressive. And we just got done talking to Trudy Allen, and Union's on their 5th.
Yep.
And they graduated everyone but Trudy Allen for this year's team from last year. So, I mean, just to be able to filter in new players and really not skip a beat is really impressive.
What is really impressive to me, I listened to Edmond North's golf coach, I believe it was last year. He joined the golf show, which precedes us here every Saturday morning. He joined the golf show, and he talked about wanting to enter 2 teams into the state tournament. He wished that he could enter his A squad and his B squad. Now we're talking some John Calipari stuff.
That's just showing off.
Just going platoons.
Right.
Just like, let's throw out the A team, let's throw out the B team. I want to compete against myself and our own guys because the rest of the state's got nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Have we ever had it? I would assume in the history of high school sports, we've never had a B team win a championship.
Probably not.
I would assume. I don't know what crazy things they were doing back in the 30s and 40s, but
we'd have to dust off the record book and go in search of something like that. But Edmond North can't deny their success. Dale Baseball, what they've done both in the fall as well as the spring. Bishop Kelly girls soccer, just a phenomenal run that they had. Perry Wrestling, also you mentioned them. Tuttle Wrestling, right there with them.
It's every year at the state tournament at wrestling, the State Fair Arena, you'll have like 2 sections full of Perry Wrestling fans, and not far from them are 2 sections full of Tuttle Wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Just making a ton of noise over 2 days, just living and breathing wrestling. And lucky for wrestling teams, they get a chance to win 2 different kind of state titles.
Yeah, we're
so
talking
they get
dual
to,
and overall.
They get to double up on their medal count and their trophy stash.
Which I think I just counted overall wrestling.
Right, that's fine.
I didn't include the dual titles, which
which Perry and Tuttle have dominated as well.
Exactly, it's about the same.
I mean, Matt, I text Matt Serber after Tuttle won another dual state title this year, and they just mowed down their competition. They just roll into dual state and just, we'll take that, and we'll be on our way.
That's ours.
Yep.
We're walking away with that. Thank you for showing up.
Perry actually had to. They actually had a little test from Plainview this year, but still, it's Perry.
No contest championship.
Give us the trophy. We'll be on our way.
We're talking plural championships. Good to be back in studio. Good talking high school sports with you again this Saturday morning. Ben, looking forward to it next week. Hopefully, we have some more high school sports during the week to where we can actually talk about results. Class A and B state tournament starting next week. Perhaps we'll have some state champions there. Who knows? Perhaps we'll have the state championships going on later on next Saturday for the rest of the classes in baseball. We'll also have updates on the other various sports, soccer, both on the boys and girls side, track, as well as boys golf. They're headed into their state run starting next week. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. Thank you to all of our guests. Tune in next Saturday for another edition of the OK Preps Roundup. Again, if you missed any of our interviews with any of our guests, go check out Roundup Rewind on the homepage today. He's Ben Johnson. I'm Michael Knight. Our thanks to our wonderful producers, both on the web as well as on the radio. This has been another edition of the OK Preps Roundup on your home for sports, the Sports Animal, as well as on the OK Preps Network.
This is Sean Garner, owner and head strength coach of Excel Performance Training. Being Oklahoma's only MBSC Thrive licensed facility, we're going to help athletes with injury reduction, avoid overuse injuries, and of course, get you bigger, faster, and stronger. We want you to be able to move properly in our controlled environment, so when you're playing on the field or court, it becomes second nature. All athletes will have a detailed workout plan and work in groups of less than 10 other athletes. So if you're ready to go all in and train with the pros, call us at 918-949-4223 or online at excelperformancetraining.com. Next season starts now with Excel Performance Training.